One of the most interesting things about the word Antichrist is how we understand it.
What is the Antichrist to you? Is it a system? Is it a person? Is it a place?
You know, I really don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Have you studied the Bible about what the Antichrist is?
Book of Revelations, yeah.
So what is the Antichrist to you? Is it a system? Is it a person? Is it a place?
I guess it's like, to me, it's an energy source or a type of negative energy.
So do you think the Antichrist is a person, many persons, or a system?
Well, from what is said in the New Testament, the Antichrist was many people.
Do you have any idea of what the Antichrist is? Is it a person? Is it a place or a system?
No, but usually if it has to do with anything regarding religion, I stay away from it.
The Antichrist, is it a system? Is it a person? You were explaining a little bit about it, but what is it in just one or two words?
The Antichrist is actually a person. I met him actually the other day. It was a white guy. He was becoming saying his name was Jesus. He had a cigarette in his mouth, and he told me he was going to walk across the water.
I think it's a person, yeah.
To you, is the Antichrist something that is here, or that is something from the past, or that will be in the future?
To me, it's a presence. To me, it's a presence that's always here.
The word Antichrist appears just a few times in Scripture, 4 in fact, and always in the writings of John, in his epistles.
Now, the Bible teaches that the word Antichrist not only means against Christ, but actually in the place of Christ.
You don't find the word itself, but just in a few places. But the career and the person of this Antichrist figure, you find it in numerous places. Daniel in the Old Testament primarily, but then in the New Testament, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, you find it in Revelation 13, and Jesus here, obviously speaking to the issue of this Antichrist figure.
The picture we get in the Bible is not necessarily someone who is dark and evil in appearance, but actually someone who appears to be like Christ.
When we actually go to the book of Daniel, the book that Jesus specifically said that we should reference in an end-time context, we find that there was one chapter there in particular, well, two, but one that really stands out, and that's Daniel chapter 7. Now, in Daniel chapter 7, we actually just have the outworking of something that Daniel has already disclosed in Daniel chapter 2.
Now, in chapter 2, we have a very important dream that the king Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon had.
And in the dream, there's this metal man, this metal image, and the man has different parts of his body. The idol has different parts of his body that are made of different metals. He's a giant metal man. And according to Daniel's own interpretation of the prophecy, we don't have to guess, we don't have to wonder, he gives it to us. This metal man is a kind of timeline, a kind of chronological sequence progressing from the head of gold to the chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of bronze, long legs of iron, and then the feet partly of iron and partly of clay.
It starts, obviously, as it is told in chapter 2, and the prophet Daniel is the person to tell Nebuchadnezzar that the golden head is Babylon.
And here you have this timeline, this sweep of history, if you will, going from Babylon to Medo-Persia to Greece, Greece to Rome, and finally the division of Rome. Now, when we come to Daniel chapter 7, we find that same sequence recapitulated, revisited.
Now, when we come to Daniel 7, we see that this time Daniel himself receives a vision. And it's totally different from the one in Daniel 2, but at the same time, it is similar.
The message of these two dreams is the same, but they are given in a different context. To the pagan king Nebuchadnezzar, the dream comes in the form of a gigantic statue, an idol, if you please, not because God approves of idols, but because he can use that to communicate with a man who knows nothing better.
When we get to Daniel chapter 7, however, the metal man is now replaced. He's replaced with beasts, 4 beasts.
In Daniel 7, it begins with these 4 beasts, and it tells us very clearly in Daniel 7, verse 17, that the beasts represent kings or kingdoms.
Just as Daniel was told, now we discover these 4 beasts are 4 consecutive kingdoms and empires, just like the 4 metals of Daniel 2.